Alrighty, and welcome back with some Heroes of the Storm. I'm Bahamut, your caster. We got another NGS series. I gotta figure out a way to say it all. We got another Nexus Gaming Series matchup on our hands here. On the left-hand side, we have Alaska, and on the right, we have OSD, Order of the Sleeping Dragon. We're gonna keep it short this game because I don't know if I can say that the entire time. I'll run out of breath way too quickly. But it looks like we're going to have a right-away ban on Tassadar here from Alaska, and I like that. Tassadar offers a lot for a team. He's a very malleable, flexible. I mean, I wouldn't call him like a flex player because it's not like you have like crazy different builds with him, but just in the factor of just he goes with so many different compositions, and I really, really like that. Coming out of Alaska. Also, maybe maybe they have a stealthy or something that they don't want to get noticed because maybe it's a Nova. You never know. I mean, these are, we're in Division B, so we're going to see some... I really actually like that. This is some top-notch draft right off the bat. I like that. The Dahaka ban is really smart on the side of OSD, mostly because of the fact that he is really, really powerful on this map. So... Ooh... They go ahead and they grab the Vala on the side of Alaska here. Are they gonna, There have been compositions where you often see people hypercarry with the Vala, so you will sometimes see like an Uther, Ariel picked up. Obviously later in the draft you get that secondary healer, probably the priority being on Uther usually. But Rhaegar, in my opinion, works very well also. But we might see that, because then you sometimes just have like a hyper carry in the bottom, then you can have some tankish fight. Ooh. I like that. ETC Brightwing pickup is not a bad combination. Brightwing is really strong on this map. ETC is just a viable, flexible, perfect tank. Brightwing offering that global too, which is going to be extremely useful for them here. Really like the draft on the side of OSD currently, mostly just because of the fact of the way that they're kind of setting this up. They're not showing much of their draft, but at the same time, Alaska has this 2-3 pick before we go into the next ban phase. So the one thing I wonder here, do they just play it safe and do they just go tank healer? Do they just go into like a Garrosh? Wouldn't be bad, but what do you go for the Rhaegar on top of that? I also really like Tyrael too, but I don't know if you go for the early Tyrael pick. It's going to be Morales and Joanna. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Morales is not a bad pick, but it's one of those things that if you can dive into the back, she can be destroyed very easily. Now, Grenade does offer a little bit of disengage. Joanna does have some of that as well, and Vala post 10 with the Rain of Vengeance, I'm assuming, is going to be just kind of... It'll buy some time for that retreat. So, I mean, it's not... I like that, but it looks like they're hovering the Zarya pick on the side of OSD here, thinking that they're going to be going into that sustained fighting kind of bruiser. I like the ban isn't bad because it does follow suit for like a sort of hyper carry Vala. The Zarya would pair well with it. It kind of works as an off-brand Tassadar. The explosion zone is really powerful as well. The question I wonder is like, is Medivh worth banning out here to counteract the potential dive into the backline? I don't know if it's... I don't think it's... I don't know if that'd be a big worry. But, like, the other thing that you have to consider, too, is, like, you can portal backline, leyline seal, set up a mosh. There's a lot for Medivh, and on this map, I think he does very well. I don't know if it's ban-worthy, though. Realistically, they might just go for something on the damage side, like a Greymane. That's way more realistic. What I think I'm theory crafting a little too deep, or just some sort of just thinking about it like, like that backline, like they could just dive into that backline with, and Mosh setup from a Leyline Seal is obviously very easy to do, so definitely I'm glad that they're going ahead and kind of getting that out of the way. Or, well, not having to deal with it, but they have that Greymane that they banned out, which was smart because it gets rid of the solo lane as well as the dive. If they choose to put him in the solo lane. Even then, he's just overall strong. He's got some good splash damage for potential chase. Question is, what do you go into here? Maybe you pick up your... They don't have a solo laner, and they don't really have their damage yet. Do they maybe pick up a mage with some sort of range damage, then flex on the solo lane? No, it looks like they're going to go with the Malthael and the Lunara. So they go for range, melee, and then they're going to probably go for something a little bit more tanky on top of that. Arthas wouldn't be bad here. Tyrael wouldn't be bad here. Garrosh is still open. Artanis is an option. But either way, we'll look at Alaska's draft here. These last two picks. Things that pair well with Morales and go on this map. Technically, you could actually go into a Gul'dan here. Wouldn't be a bad idea. The old days, you could go into a Hammer. Mostly because people just don't know how to fight around a Hammer. And the Morales just pairs well with that. And then you can poke with the Vala the entire time. And Joanna just is a nuisance, just body blocking and pulling people into the range of Hammer. So, I mean, it's a composition that works. But I doubt we'll see it here. We'll probably see something a little bit safer. So they'll probably go for like a mage. And then probably they're going to need a solo laner. So they could go Zagara with that. It's Ana. I haven't got to see an Ana game yet. That's actually really, really, really exciting. So Ana's picked up. Don't know a whole lot about Kit, so I can't really talk about it. Like, I know what she does, but I can't tell you specific talents that she should be going into. So I will obviously have the talents up, and we'll try and peruse those if we can. But this last pickup here, now they technically can have the Malthael solo lane up against the Zagara, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and do that. They're going to go pick up the Genji here. I'm curious. Curious if the Genji is going to work for them, or... Because I'm trying to look at the teams and see, like, does the Genji really offer a whole lot up against this team? I mean... We'll see. Either way, though, I am super excited to go into this game. Game number 1, Alaska versus OSD, Order of the Sleeping Dragon. On the left-hand side, we have Alaska with Rexpa on Vala, Varen on Lieutenant Morales, Bubble This on Joanna, Sierras on Zagara, and Hedgie on Ana. On the right-hand side, we have Dammy on ETC, Silent Shoe on Genji, Corgi Booty on Malthael, Dawning on Lunara, and Kia on Brightwing. Sorry if I messed that up. I think it's Dammy, because he specified it's not Dami. He said it's Dammy. Okay, I think we got everyone's name right. Either way, getting into this matchup, this is going to be interesting. Malthael up against the Zagara. The Ana pick is just going to be the most interesting part to me. I am very curious how they're going to be, what they're going to be doing with that. Like, if the Morales makes sense to me, actually, Morales doesn't make sense to me. Like, at least from what I've casted of Alaska before, I usually see like a Stukov on this map. So the Morales is interesting. There were a couple changes that came through today. Nothing major, and I honestly can't speak too much to it because I think I got like one AI game in before this just to kind of like warm up my hands as well as just at least, you know, do a daily or two. So it looks like Alaska's going to go ahead and split their teams right away. They're going to throw the Zagara into top, Ana, Vala, and probably Morales going into bottom. And then it looks like OSD is just going to be in this mid lane looking for that initial small fight, but they're just going to play safe, and Alaska's just going to go into their lanes and soak. Realistically, the whole mid thing happens because of the fact that this is this is where the minions will hit first on the map. So clearing this first technically gives you the experience, but either way, I mean, we're currently going to see a 3-man in bottom. This double healer, hyper carry, Vala. We're going to have the Joanna in mid lane just soloing, which will be fine. I mean, the towers will do the majority of this. But we're going to have a... Are we going to have a rotation from OSD consistently throughout the game? Because that's a little hard to do on Dragon Shire. It's possible, but you are going to miss out on a little bit of experience. Do you have the dive into Varen? He will be taking a ton of damage. The poison going out. There is the pushback. And they will confirm that kill. Dawning getting that last hit. But there is going to be a rotation from Dammy back into the mid lane. Bubble this will have to go up against that ETC. And then just peeking up into the top lane really quickly, we just have Corgi Booty versus Sierras. And it looks like it's going to be pretty evenly matched up there. So that's going to be an early game kill going over to OSD. So they definitely get that first kill. Hedgie and Rexpa trying to get this Brightwing off the point, but unfortunately it's just not a lot of healing coming up. Morales is back into the lane. ETC is postured for a little bit of a split here. I think he does show into the minions, and we currently have Genji in the mix too. And looks like Hedgie will go ahead and steal away that point. We do have Kia and Dawning just kind of posturing here. They don't want to go out a little bit too far. Rexpa, you know, poking out a little bit of damage here and there. Currently have the Dragonite potentially being channeled over for Alaska, but we currently have Sierras getting chased by Silent Shoe. We'll be able to get out without a problem. Genji will jump onto that point, and they will deactivate the channeling for the moment. And Bubble this wouldn't have been able to get this, mostly because Dammy in that lane constantly poking him. That wouldn't have happened. But we're going to keep peering back into that bottom lane, because this is definitely where there's a lot of sieging happening. I mean, currently they're getting pushed in a little bit here, and unfortunately this is where the Genji... I question the Genji, mostly because I feel like something of a little bit more frontline, like that Arthas or the Tyrael that I was mentioning, is I think it would have offered a little bit more for their team. Realistically, I think just anyone who could have been in melee damage and a little bit more frontline. Like, I started to mention Artanis, I believe, and that, you know, the blind would have been kind of helpful, as well as the swap for the reposition. So it's just something to consider here. I don't know if we'll see. Kia taking... So... Gonna fall down a little bit low there. Hedgie getting damaged a little bit by Silent Shoe. Will get poked a little bit, but Kia gonna tap well and actually gonna Hearth right away. Gonna go ahead and phase shift right back, utilizing the extra vision. Sleep Dart does go out onto Genji, and they currently are gonna hold over both points. Now in mid, we still have Bubble this up against Dammy, so they have time to kind of get this back, and it looks like they will invade onto this bottom point. We do have Silent Shoe diving in. Rexpa taking a little bit of damage. There will be Varen to kind of heal him back up. And I only say a little bit mostly because of the fact that you have a healer and just a heal beam sitting there and just shooting you and just keeping you up alive. So definitely getting a lot of value from that. Now, we did have the Brightwing go ahead and phase shift up to Corgi Booty, who is doing a pretty good job of making sure that he's kind of keeping some of this creep back from Sierras. Now, he does have a lot in this rotational position, which is very good for him. But Malthael is making sure that he does his due diligence to keep clearing out the creep. And really, that will hinder the Zagara over time. But at the same time, she does have some pretty good siege, which I think we have been seeing from the beginning of the game. They have been having to dedicate multiple members to that top lane, so that solo lane is becoming more and more difficult. It looks like they actually have Malthael rotating into Bubble this. No, he turned around and, okay. Corgi Booty not going for the kill. Sears will get a little bit of damage out there. We'll get close back to his gate and get out fine. Now, this bottom lane, we need to talk about the most important factor that about this is that they just got the well. This is the lane sustain. They've opened this up on the side of Alaska. This capture point is going to be extremely difficult for OSD at this point. Not like they're just not going to win it over ever again, but it's just going to be harder for them, mostly because of the fact that they've opened up this gate, so it's harder for them to retreat. They have more room to chase on the side of Alaska, as well as they took out the well. The epic tank battle is still raging on in mid, and we currently actually have a little bit of a dive from Silent Shoe, trying to get the reflect, but unfortunately, this is what I was talking about, the Genji. The reflect isn't getting any value because as long as Rexpa isn't attacking him, there isn't really much happening, but Varen will go ahead and get bodied there. They go ahead and get the kill once again. There is a dive in onto Rexpa. He's taking quite a bit of damage. Hedgie trying to heal him back up with those shots, and they only will lose the Morales in this point. It looks like the Genji will have to back, though. He did take quite a bit of damage. Rexpa trying to poke out. Gonna get healed up by Hedgie. Back into mid lane, we do have a... Ooh, Dammy going for that power slide, but this is tank v tank. It's not like they're going to be getting any sort of picks here. And Sierra's going ahead and canceling out the top lane. Looks like Corgi Booty is going to kind of chase him around the point. They're going to... I just think of Benny Hill, right? It's a Benny Hill soundtrack right now. Kind of Sierra's gonna get chased here, potentially gonna get killed, and that will be the kill confirmed onto Sierra's. Now they do hold over this bottom very well. Looks like Dawning did take quite a bit of damage, so at this point with this mini wave coming up, and since they know where the ETC is, or at least the fact that he is not on map, it looks like they will back off at this point. But they're really opening this up, and Dammy actually, he's gonna have the power slide out, so he'll be fine. But Bubble This will rotate down into the bottom lane. No, looks like he'll go back into the mid. We currently have Dammy getting rolled. Oh, Rexpa trying to roll forward and get so much of that damage out. The siege damage out of ETC and Joanna right there was, I think it was like 6,000 each, pretty much. TX Ninja, thanks for coming by. We currently have a dash in from Silent Shoe. There's the stage dive in. Vern is the focus once again. It looks like he will be polymorphed and killed. Henji taking so much damage. I don't think he'll be able to make it out. The poison should be confirming the kill, and they'll hold over bottom at this point. That is going to be both the healers falling and Dawning getting quite a bit of damage out onto Rexpa. We'll be able to go forward, and it looks like Bubble This will have to defend this point by himself. Now they do currently have 20s available, and we actually see the Eye of Horus from Ana here, which is going to be actually annoying for Poke, because the Eye of Horus has like, what, a 60-second cooldown? So basically every minute you can sit there and do 6 shots of Poke at whoever is on the Dragonite point if Bubble This is not there anymore. Silent Shoe, Bubble This is actually currently just fighting Dammy and actually getting the poke, but it looks like they will be able to confirm this, and they go ahead and get the first Dragonite at about 7 minutes into the game. So this is, it's strong. It's not the strongest in the world, but they will get some decent value with this, so long as it's not burned down. Now, currently in bottom lane, we actually have Rexpa and Vern pushing back, Dawning, a little bit here. They go ahead and rotate up into this lane, and looks like they will be starting to burn this down. Top lane looks like Sierras is just being forced back by his gates, just playing safe at this point. They're starting to open up that top lane, though, which is exactly what I had noted on the side of Alaska opening up the right-hand bottom point. Wow, that's Hungering Arrow already finished, too. But, if they open up that top, it's going to be just the same advantage, as I was saying for Alaska in this bottom lane. We currently have Rexpa rolling forward, trying to get the extra damage. The Hungering Arrow will follow all the way through the dash and everything, but it looks like they make a clean disengage, and OSD gets pretty good value out of that, and they actually put themselves quite near 13 with this level difference. And at this point, Alaska, they're going to have to play just a little safe. Without 13s, they technically do, they will be losing more of the fights because of the fact that they're down talent tier and level. And it looks... Okay, I was going to say, it looks like OSD's trying to take advantage of it, but no, they play it safe at this point. Honestly, both teams are just playing extreme. They're making sure that, they don't want to go too far on the side of Alaska, and at the same time, they don't want to give over that 13 advantage to Alaska on the side of OSD. So they're playing very smart here. They're really just realistically playing around the objective. You see both teams are just kind of staying at the halfway point. A little bit aggressive, as I just said that. But either way, we do have a dive onto Bubble This. He does have the unstoppable. The phase shift will come through. Polymorph doesn't connect, and that's going to be phase shift down. Now, granted, Brightwing did go into all the Z-Towns, so there is that cooldown reduction for being around members, but they currently, looks like they're setting up for a flank here. Power slide onto Baron once again. There's the Polymorph as well. They currently dive him, and so much damage is going out. Stim Drone, I think, was interrupted there. It is on the 10-second cooldown. They get that rotation on him once again. There is no mana on the side of Rex, but there is a power slide through. We currently have the Eye of Horus getting interrupted. I do believe that is going to be the kill onto Joanna, though, giving the reset for Silent Shoe, and it looks like they're going to back off and probably just hold over the lane. And actually, no, it looks like ETC will go back, but he does have stage dive at this point, so he can pretty much just come into the lane at any point, and any lane at that, just to note, too. Currently having the bottom getting pushed in quite a bit here. And they're going to go ahead and capture. It looks like they're going to have both. Genji's going to be in place for the capture in mid. I do not believe Eye of Horus is not ready, so they don't get the They don't get the slow on it, or the delay on it, and they get the dragon on the side of Order of the Sleeping Dragon. So they wake up the Sleeping Dragon here. Dammy taking a little bit of damage, going to get sleep, but woken up by the Hungering Arrow there. It looks like Silent Shoe will take that dragon into mid lane and start to open this up a bit more for the team. Sierra's going to get punted out of the lane. Currently have a little bit of chase onto Dammy, but it looks like he'll just kind of walk away with half health. This Dragon Knight is just kind of postured up. Doesn't want to go too deep, but at the same time, they're kind of wasting the time. Hedgie going to get kicked here over the gate, separated from Sierras. But it looks like the rest of the team is in this bottom lane position. Rexpa giving a little bit of chase. There is the Stim Drone onto Rexpa. They currently, I think the Blink Heal was out. Dodges Malthael there. The grenade does not connect, and it looks like that is going to be the Stim Drone down, and they do not get the kill. Dragon Knight gets the fort in the mid lane, so it will rotate down. They're going to go ahead and get the punt onto Sierras once again. Brightwing will face shift in here. Gonna probably get the polymorph onto one of the members, and it looks like Rexpa is... Oh, stage dive onto Rexpa. He's so low, and they get the kill onto him as well as Hedgie. And that is going to be them chasing down this lane. They currently get polymorphed. Lieutenant Morales is going to be falling here. Bubble This is currently going to get pulled. They're going to get dashed on through over this gate, and both the members are on the wrong side, currently getting hit by the keep, and that is going to be the Genji dying just to the keep shots. And so that's a little bit of an advantage on the side of Alaska. It does semi kind of force the enemy team away. Sierras is going back into that top lane, working more towards those 16s, making sure that with the, it's not like they're, they don't have the total conversion because Genji's dead, but it does buy them a little bit of time because the fact that they're just not going to be as aggressive without that Genji to have, that little bit of dive or as well as the reset. So they back off here. It looks like they're going to go ahead, push up the lanes, get some of their camps. And this is the really, really smart play on the side of OSD because of the fact that they're not going to be doing anything that's too aggressive and putting themselves too far out of position. They're just going to push the lanes out and make sure that they do not have, they don't lose their advantage. And they're doing a very good job of that. I mentioned it, before 13 that they were playing very safe to make sure that they don't give over that level advantage. And you can see here, they've pretty much held over their advantage once it kind of started. And you can see that they've had this consistent dive technique where they have the slide in from Dammy, and then they have the Brightwing polymorph on top of that. And then Lunar is just in that backline putting out so much damage on top of Corgi Booty too. So it's a very, very well-run composition. And I really just, OSD is just completely showing it off right here. Now the question is, do they push this into the keep, or do they just walk it up to the gate and back off and kind of make sure they're set up for the next dragon phase? And it looks like the Stim Drone does come out onto Rexpa. He is starting to do quite a bit of damage onto Dami here. Grenade does go out. It looks like it's going to push them further away, and that's going to be the roll forward, and there is a slide back. Wow, these guys are just back and forth, and it looks like, okay, no, it's just a disengage at this point. They go ahead and they posture up for the lanes. Top is going to be rotated by Malthael, but I would assume that Zagar will be able to utilize the Nidus network quite soon. Danger pings are out. It looks like there is the separation. Dammy getting pulled back here. Brightwing will use the phase shift. And it looks like they cancel this in time before Silent Shoe can go ahead and get that. Back into bottom lane, though, they still have dedicated the majority, actually all of their team on the side of Alaska here. The one thing that they need to note is their mid lane is starting to get a little pushed in. Malthael's going to start opening up that top a little bit more with this hard camp, it looks like. They do have Sierras going back and just clearing that out. Do have Morales getting their grenade out for the vision. Corgi Booty and Dami look like they will be coming out here. There is a little bit of a chase currently happening. They do have Sierras rotating back. Dami is just trying to body block. There's a nice... Blessed Shield that went out, but the Tormented Souls is out. Rexpa doing so much damage. The ETC actually gets the stage dive into the side there. Bubble This is taking a lot of damage in that backline. I don't think he has the Iron Skin, and that will be the reset. Oh, that's going to be Joanna and Anna dying there. And it looks like OSD, they're going to be able to go ahead and rotate and pick up this Dragon Knight here. And just a really, really good chase that they gave there, and it really turned over in their favor. So it looks like Corgi Booty will be postured up for this, but Zagara Sierra's going into that top lane, just being a nuisance, forcing the team to kind of split apart here. Now, does he pop out of the midpoint? No, he just goes in the mid lane. Looks like they just delay this a little bit longer for a few of their members to get back. They don't go for anything where they can lose anyone here. It looks like Silent Shoe will start to come in on this point. There is the... Yeah, they just disengage from it completely. They do not want to stagger a death at this point, especially with a 15-minute Dragonite and 20s just on the cusp for OSD. This is definitely something where Alaska needs to play safe if they don't want to have the game snowball in the favor of OSD. At this point, with the Giants pressuring the bottom with all 5 members and 20s on their side, this is a very, very strong push on the side of OSD, and let's see what they can do with it. They do have Blink on ATC. Currently have the Stim Drone going out onto Rexpa. They're just playing very, very safe here. There is Dammy in the back. There currently is the Brightwing phase shifting, and Bubble is taking quite a bit of damage. A few of the members are going to have to back off here, taking quite a bit themselves. The Eye of Horus doing so much damage onto a few of those members, but unfortunately they are not able to confirm any of these kills. They get the keep on the side of OSD, and it looks like they're going to be backing off. Rexpa going to be vaulting forward there, doing so much damage. Rexpa taking quite a bit himself. Bubble This is going to be coming back from that kick. Looks like Morales will be killed here. Sierra's trying to get a little bit of damage out as well at this point. They do get the Dragonite here, and do they get any follow-up kills is the question. Bubble This currently rotating in. There is the knockback from ETC, and it looks like there will just be a clean disengage to get the kill over onto Morales. And that's going to be a keep picked over for OSD, and they're currently just... they're running this map, honestly. They've really got the lanes held quite a bit in their favor. Now, the one thing is, Zagara has all this vision across the map. They do see that ETC is, over in this position, and they are, I think they're just trying to kind of pick some of these members apart, or at least pull some of them here. We do have a little bit of a slide under Rexpa. There is the heal that goes out from Ana, and they're really just postured around this point. They do have majority full mana. Sleep did go out onto Dammy there, but they weren't able to kind of do any sort of, there wasn't any follow-up burst to get him. And I keep peeking into top lane, but every time they see Sierra's up there, they literally just go for the pressure here. Looks like Morales will be finishing that grenade talent. Currently have Sierra's driving back into the lane with his team, but they open up this gate and they back off. And this is just really smart on the side of OSD. They're doing a very good job of just holding this over. Now, top lane did get pushed up there for a few seconds, so they're going to have to send someone back, and this will give a little bit of breathing room on the side of Alaska, I would assume. No, they're gonna turn on the pressure and just go straight into the hard camp, and they know that Alaska can't do anything about it, mostly because of the fact that they don't have 20s. They can't take any sort of fight here. Without the 20 advantage, it's a very bad idea for the fight, and this is why you see them playing passively at this point. And OSD, same thing. You see them playing very aggressive because they have that 20 advantage. They don't really need to worry about their fort as long as they can really start to open up the map even more, which is exactly what they're doing. And at this point, we do have Alaska currently just rotating into bottom, clearing that out, making sure that the catapult lane is consistently pushed up. And they're going to go ahead and get that hard camp. Brightwing already in position for this top shrine phase, and it looks like they go ahead and they're going to rotate the entire team down here. Question is Zagara able to finish this in time? Can they sneak it? Oh, do they not know? Well, they left the point. Does Genji... Yeah, okay, so Genji's going to go ahead and steal that over. And they get the Dragonite here, and it looks like they're going to just walk this down the bottom and end the game. That's what it looks like. They're all postured up. They've got the catapults behind them. They've actually got this hard camp, too. 20s aren't on the side of Alaska, so they really need to play safe here, and this is just kind of the final battle at this point. Bubble This going in, trying to get a pull onto Dami. There is the kick onto Morales. It won't go very far. Bubble This is going to take quite a bit of damage. The Syndrome does go out onto Rexpa here. Sleep goes onto the Malthael. Silent Shoot trying to get so much damage. The core is starting to fall here. 69%. We do have the kill onto Malthael. Currently have Silent Shoot taking quite a bit of damage himself. The Dragonite is over 28%. This core is starting to fall. Are they able to end it here? That's the question. Lunara trying to get the damage out. Dammy. Oh my god. Are they going to 3, 2, 1? Do they get... That is going to be the core falling. Dammy will end it. GG. Well played. First game going over to OSD. Oh, and just so close. That was, they almost got the wipe turnaround, but that ETC, Dammy got out of the Dragonite and just said, you know what, I'm going to hit core. I don't care what you guys do. And he was the one who ended it. It was just enough at that late game just to hit it for that 1%. So congratulations to OSD for picking up that first game. We'll just kind of throw up the stat screen here really quickly. I'm going to get a little bit of water in me before we set up the next lobby. Very, 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 very close game number one. At least at the end there. They got a lot of picks onto Morales that game, though. That is the one thing that they knew to focus Morales. They took the things you learn in my level of play in Silver, focus Morales, and they did it. They dove for every single time. Very, very just strong play out of OSD. That last defense, though, Alaska almost had it, just so close to that core. Either way, we're gonna set up game number 2. I'm excited about this. I am super excited about game number 2. Mostly because it's on a 2-lane map, and 2-lane maps are always the best. I just find that they're just fun. Let me just go ahead and set up all this junk. OSD. All right. So while they get in here, thanks to everyone who is swinging by, watching the stream. I really appreciate it. And I need to update scores. Okay. You okay, Bandit? He's just making weird noises over there. Oh, okay. Alrighty. But if you're enjoying the stream, please hit that follow button. I much appreciate it. If you ever want to catch any of the old VODs, you can always catch them on my Twitch page, or you can actually catch them on my YouTube page, which I can pop a link in there right now. This is going to be a little bit old, but there we go. And then I also can throw in my Twitter, so you guys can just check that out if you ever want to check out what the schedule is, or what's going to be happening, or what's going to be coming up. So definitely keep an eye on those. Or you can just follow me here, and you'll see me every time I go live. Typically, I'm online like around now almost every day at this point. October, we're doing some spooky streams here and there when we can fit them in. We currently are, we just started Resident Evil today, so definitely check that out if you're a Resident Evil fan. I think there might have been a little bit of a FPS issue. I think I solved it at the end, so I apologize if that first chapter is really choppy. Either way, we're getting into these games here, and game number 2. I'm excited about this. Braxis Holdout. I mean, it's such a fun map. We just gotta get the last player in here, and then we are good to go for our final matchup of this evening. Alrighty. Okay. It's R from one, and we just have to wait for the other, and then we will let them know when we are going in. Okay, yeah. Alrighty, so we're gonna go in 3 seconds. There we go. So we are going into game number 2 right now on Braxis Holdout. Ooh, I like this map. I think it's a fun map. At least watching it's really fun. Casting it's a blast. Playing on it, it's okay. Zagara ban right away. They do not want to deal with that ever again. OSD does not want to take. Ooh, they don't want to deal with it. Garrosh is gonna be. That's not a bad idea. He has a lot of good disengage as well as a lot of good engage, like for a pick, as well as heroes who stand still. So like a Stukov would be. Ooh, no, they're gonna go ahead and ban out the ETC. They don't want to deal with Dammy's ETC again. I can understand why. It was pretty impactful. I really liked the ETC play out of that player last game. They set up so much for that team. There were so many good power slides that set up so much for, the polymorph into Lunara there. So overall, I mean, it was a very well practiced composition, and it worked out for them very well. But what are they taking this one slot here? Braxis Holdout. Did they go for the Genji again this early? The boss cheese is oh.
Could give the best hug.
Zephyria? Zeraphia? I am so sorry. I'm just so bad with those names. Like, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Zephyria. Ooh. First pick Vala. That's interesting. What are you going to run with that? Do you go into the hyper... Are they going to go into the hyper carry this time? We saw it out of Alaska. I wonder. Now, this 1-2 pickup on the side of Alaska, I honestly think that the safe thing to do is you just grab your tank and damage. So it looks like they're going to pick up Gul'dan. They could go for the Ariel, which would be a technical deny against OSD if they are looking to go that way. The Ariel Gul'dan combo does work very well together. And the Crystal Aegis is just a really, really strong ultimate. So they're going to go to Morales again. And I did talk about this in the last game, and I was saying Gul'dan is a good pickup with Morales, mostly because of the fact that she is that battery pack. But I just worry about the dive that was displayed onto Morales last game worries me for this game, because they obviously on the side of OSD have a priority for that to kill that hero, obviously. So I worry about the dive that's going to be placed on the Morales here, but I'm also curious to see if that's going to change the draft in mind from OSD. I honestly think they just go into a tank and it says the Garrosh right wing again. Okay, yeah. I was like, ETC's out, but Garrosh isn't, so they go into the Garrosh here, which is going to be interesting. I think he's honestly pretty powerful on this map for the reposition, as well as just literally pulling some of your backline members forward and just getting them, obviously into your backline. So it's a strong start on the side of OSD. But at the same time, we have to consider the wave clear and the poke, and the overall damage that will be coming out from Alaska is going to be really terrifying because of the fact that you have the Lieutenant Morales and the Gul'dan, that battery pack combo, where she just sits there and beams him forever, and he just sits there, and he doesn't even have to hit D, he doesn't need to life funnel. He can just sit there and just slap D as much as he needs to, getting the health. So, ban-wise, though, They don't have a solo laner, and they do. It's not a bad idea, honestly. The Tassadar would work with the Vala, and then they can just go into a solo laner Malthael again if they want. So I like that ban that they just took because of the fact that it hinders their comp if they were going into that. Oh wow. Chose ban. That's interesting. I guess they were expecting this to be a Cho'Gall pickup. I don't know. Maybe with the Morales was like potential juke, and then you take the Ariel in the last slot, but who knows? Hey, Drag. Thank you for swinging by, dude. What do they take in this slot? They could go for their tank and their solo laner, then flex on maybe some damage. Or they flip that and maybe they pick up their damage and tank and then flex on the solo laner, maybe? Speaking of solo laners, just really quick, I hope someone takes an Alarak. I think he's really strong on this map. Ooh, so they're going to go Zarya Joanna here. That's a strong 4-man in the bottom lane. I really like that. The Zarya shielding is going to be pretty powerful for the Morales if they do go for that dive. It offers a little bit more for the Gul'dan as well. So it looks like they're going to be going into a hyper carry Gul'dan. Now, granted, well, no, I can't really say that because they could go into, as I was saying, an Alarak can solo lane, Greymane can solo lane, Malthael can solo lane. So these are all people that can do damage. It's just, in that bottom lane, you're going to have the Gul'dan damage solo. I'm curious to see what they're going to do on the side of OSD. Do they go for extra damage, or do they go for a stronger front line? Do they go for something that can pair well with the Garrosh toss? Do they have a follow-up Poly? They have a stun at 10 with Vala potentially. Stukov for the zone, so that means that they need a solo laner here, so it's going to be... Sonya wouldn't be horrible, but I think they might need the silence, so I honestly think it should be Alarak. I think it works best for the team, but it's going to be Arthas. Okay. That's going to be interesting. Now the question is, who's going to be the solo laner for Alaska? They don't go triple warrior. I don't think they don't think they like take a Dahaka or a Sonya. I honestly think it's going to be more damage. And Alarak, in my opinion, is the best choice. Well, not best, but I think it's a very good choice. For either team, realistically, displacement's really, really strong on this map. Expulsion zone's going to be really good. Condemn's going to be good from Joanna. I mean, the grenade, Horrify, they've got a lot. They've actually got a huge amount of boss control. Rovac, thanks for swinging by. Your boys on OSD, though. I'm glad to have some people rooting in here. It's Malthael. Okay. Okay. I was thinking, I always think the Alarak mostly because, well, so Malthael makes more sense because they did go for a more tanky of a solo laner like Arthas is. So that is going to be a little bit more beneficial. My short-sightedness is just get the silence because you fight on the point and you can get a lot of silence. But either way, the Malthael makes way more sense for the composition. So we're going to be going into game number 2, Brax's Holdout, Alaska versus OSD. On the left-hand side, we have Alaska with Rexpa on Gul'dan, Varen on Lieutenant Morales, Hedgie on Zarya, Bubble This on Joanna, and Sierras on Malthael. On the right-hand side, we have Order of the Sleeping Dragon with Silent Shoe on Vala, Corgi Booty on Arthas, Dawning on Brightwing, Dami on Garrosh, and Kia on Stukov. Excuse me, I think it's Kina, not Kia. I looked at it and I was like, yeah, karate moves. Alrighty, so let's get going into this game here. I'm glad everyone has good portrait synergy at this point. That's very good. That's it's the cornerstone of a good team. Alrighty, so the question is, what are we going to be seeing here talent pick wise? Fellflame makes sense. We have clear from Morales. Looks like Joanna will be going into Hold Your Ground. Okay. Going for the extra shielding during the Iron Skin as well as the cooldown on it, I believe. Yes. Hungering Arrow from the Vala. It's interesting. I guess the solo target damage is going to be very strong. We're going to see a Z build from the Brightwing once again. And Unrivaled Strength from Garrosh. The expanded zone for Stukov. And Fear the Reaper? Yeah. Learning those Malthael talents. Alright, we do have a little bit of an aggressive position from Dami here. Just scouting out this team. And we do have a little bit of poke. That Zarya just right-click is going to be very good for the vision here, as well as just kind of slowing some of the members down, as well as unmounting them during some of these disengages or, you know, that they're going to be having throughout the matchup. Now, at the same time, Vala has very good poke herself. She can get the exact same value. We do have a lot of damage going out. Silence is out onto a few of the members. Dami taking a little bit of damage. Looking for that toss, I do believe, but unfortunately there are too many minions by. Rex focusing down Silent Shoe here. Gonna be healed up quite easily, though, by that Stukov. And at this point, we currently just have an even matchup. Nothing too crazy in this lane. Everyone's going to be playing safe for the next about 45 seconds until the next until the beacon phase. Actually, probably more like a minute, either way. Because it does start at 45 seconds. The toss combination was there, but unfortunately it was just onto a minion. The silence is out onto Rex, but unfortunately he's not able to get out of it in time to put out a little bit of poke damage. But definitely Varen able to stay in that back lane, get that healing. And they are starting to push a few of these members into the gate here. But at the same time, ooh, they get the grenade onto Dami. He is able to kind of walk around all this. Meanwhile, though, there actually is a pull onto Hedgie here. He does have the shielding up, going to be taking quite a bit of damage. And that'll be the first kill of the game, going over to Order of the Sleeping Dragon. We're going to peek at top lane really quickly here. We do have Corgi Booty up against Sierras, and it looks like this matchup's pretty even. But this is where the fun's going to be, and this is where we're going to be standing, because the beacons are just about to start in about 10 seconds here. So this is where we're going to see the teams definitely battling over the points. We currently have the grenade gone out. Alright, it's a lot of back and forth, a little bit of damage going on to Silent Shoe there from Rexpa, but Dawning will be able to keep the just AoE healing out, on top of the fact that you have Kina just getting the, the weighted pustules out onto each of the members, and making sure that they get this healing. But at the same time, they are starting to charge on the side of Alaska. Dammy gonna get chased here, Rexpa doing a little bit of, they actually get the toss onto Rexpa, but unfortunately, they do get the kill. Okay, so that will be Gul'dan falling here. Bubble This will be able to get out alive. The reason I was kind of like holding my breath there for a second, I was like, Bubble This is right next to you. He's about to die. But they get the Gul'dan pick, which definitely at this point the damage on the side of Alaska has been mitigated quite heavily. And so they try and push up onto this. Looks like Bubble This will go ahead and get the point over to the side of Alaska. They will get tossed off here. And it looks like they're actually retreating here with Gul'dan currently coming back. I guess they don't really have vision on him, so they will back off, and it will be held over. Actually, excuse me, I did miss the fact that Brightwing did go top, so it is going to be a little bit harder for Sierras here. Throwing him off, not able to lane up against these two members. So at that same time, Alaska will try and take advantage of this and make sure they're pushing into the bottom lane here. And the other thing we have to note here is that Gul'dan's already finished his Fell Flame at level 1. There is the toss, and it doesn't go through the gate. There is the Brightwing phase shift down. They get the vision. They get the polymorph onto Hedgie here, but they do not get any sort of follow-up kill. And it looks like they're just going to be holding this point over. Now, since the Brightwing did go down, Sierras is playing a little bit more aggressive in the top lane up against Corgi Booty. But we do have a little bit of an engage here in bottom. The toss is onto Hedgie, puts him into the backline, starts to go in on the Stukov here. The pole does not connect, but Dammy taking so much health from some of the members. Silent Shoe will disengage here, and they're going to go ahead and hold this over. Now, Sierras is currently pushing back Corgi Booty in this top lane, so they will be getting charge in their favor. And at this point, if they can get some of that push into the top lane, it's going to be very beneficial for them. Bubble This getting tossed here, but just not making it over the gate. The Condemn going to pull a few of the members together. Varen getting it pulled in, but there's no toss since it was just used. That's going to be 100% Zerg Wave and for Alaska here, and 40% on the side of Order of the Sleeping Dragon. But since the Gul'dan is already in this bottom lane, and that's where the Zerg Wave will be coming, we can look to see that probably get burned off before it even really makes it halfway across the map. Now, they are going to need to rotate a few of their members in this top lane but to clear this out, but at the same time, they're going to need to worry about the fact that Alaska still has 4 members down here. And what are you going to do instead of rotating across the map to the Zerg Wave that's already being killed? You're going to start pushing. Tosses over the gate onto Rex, but the shield is on him. They start to burn down the side gate. Do they have a grenade for the disengage? The blind is out. And looks like they get him out. Okay. That toss, I was worried there for a second, because that's typically, what you see in all the HOTS videos. They get the toss over the gate, they get blown up. Bubble This will get tossed as well. Looks like the Unstoppable will come out. They get the Condemn onto a few of the members. The grenade is going to push one away. At this point, they get the pull onto Hedgie here. I want to peek at top lane, but at this point, I think that Mouthfeel Sierras is just playing safe in top there, and it looks like they just have a Silent Shoe and Brightwing just going ahead and clearing that out. Now, this bottom lane is getting pushed back, and Stukov, he does have a lot of mana, so they can stay down here for quite some time, but that tower will eventually start to lose shots. Kia will go ahead and, wow, he's going to take half of his health. It will be falling there, and it looks like they're going to open up this bottom lane, and this is going to be strong for Alaska. This is exactly the kind of play we saw from them last game. They got an early advantage in the lane. Now, granted, this is also Brax's holdout, where you definitely get, and we're actually going to be seeing, I think this is going to be a lane swap. They're going to go ahead and put their solo laner, nope, maybe. Either way, TX Ninja, thank you for the, thanks for cheering. I'm glad that people come in here and cheer. Like, I'm glad that there's people from OSD, or there's people in here cheering for OSD, and I'm like, it warms my heart to know that people come in here to cheer for teams they actually enjoy with the Nexus Gaming series, or just teams they enjoy. Like, just thank you guys. It just makes me happy that people support these amateur teams, and it's always fun. But at this point, we just have people rotating around the map, just picking up some of these camps, pushing up the waves, and playing safe till basically the next Zerg wave happens, which I believe is in a minute or so. I do believe it's quite soon. But either way, we do actually have, as we were talking about, both teams will be swapping the lanes. We currently have the solo laners in bottom, where that is going to be where the next Zerg wave is going to be best for Alaska. So since they open that up, they don't really need to worry about that. So if they can open up top, they can honestly, you know, they can get these swaps. But at the same time, they can open up bottom lane as well with that Arthas just pushing in. But at the same time, they get the pull onto Hedgie and bubble this. They actually get the toss onto Hedgie. And they get the kill onto him there, so they will be having to back off here. Actually, no, they're going to be pushing up with their hard camp here. Silent Shoe taking so much damage, and they're working towards these 10s. And if they get this fort, this will be 10 confirmed, I assume. Pushback will be there. They go ahead and start to back off at this point now that most of the abilities have come back, it looks like. As well as that silence is going to zone them away, and it's you know, if they have to run through it, that could be good night for them. They do get 10s. It looks like it's going to be Horrify, Medevac, Expulsion Zone, Bless Shield, and the Tormented Souls. Currently have Sierra's already on that bottom point. We have Bubble This on the top as well, and they're going to go ahead and get the Zerg charge in their favor here. Just make sure you take out the sidewalls. Always got to get that vision out. Like, there is a point to taking out the sidewall. It does provide the enemy team vision. Or it provides vision for OSD against Alaska. But either way, we have a little bit of a fight here. Toss onto Hedgie here over the wall, separating from the team. There is the explosion zone, pushing a few of the members away here. Silent Shoe taking quite a bit of damage. Dammy going to be taking quite a bit himself, but we do have a huge Horrify onto a few of the members here. Hedgie in that backline. The taunt is out onto Bubble This. The Zerg wave does go into the bottom lane. There is the Unstoppable at the right moment. They don't get the pull. This is Silent Shoe trying to take... Oh, Sierra's popping the Tormented Souls, and unfortunately wasn't... Or maybe it was used beforehand. Either way, this is 100 to minimal Zerg wave pushing to the bottom lane, and it looks like Alaska will go ahead, force a few of the members back, open up that top. They're going to rotate. They grab the Medevac, and it looks like they're going to utilize that to just jump into the Zerg wave here. They're going to arrive just with the Guardians, so they might lose a little bit of the Ultralisk, but not much. The silence goes out onto so many of the members. Perfect placement there. But at the same time, Gul'dan getting a bunch of damage in that backline right away with the Corruption as well as the Fel Flames. And they're going to open up this gate right away. They still have one Ultralisk, so it will body... Actually, excuse me, they both Ultralisk. The Explosion Zone is out. Dami taking a bunch of damage. Excuse me, Dammy taking a bunch of damage. Bless Shield goes out as well. Dawning going to take a little bit. They're trying to play this safe. They're making sure they're staying behind the gate, the keep, making sure it takes most of the damage, as well as some of these tower shots. The Bubble This is going to get the shielding. Will he be able to get out? The chase is there. Is there a W from Garrosh for the pull? There's the pull. They get the toss onto Varian here, but they are currently utilizing the swipe. The taunt was out, and actually huge. Just what? Oh my god, I can't even begin to just talk about some of the things that just happened. Because I think Brightwing... Oh no, they're going to end up getting the kill onto Sierras either way. Dammy going to be in that back lane trying to get a pull, but it looks like they get the kill. The Medevac is used to save Morales' life very low. Rexpa not leaving with the team, and it looks like he will be falling. They do open up that bottom lane and get the keep, but that they will be losing 3 members during that engagement. So the one thing I wanted to talk about that I couldn't even like comprehend for a few seconds was just the factor that, because there was the taunt onto a few, and then there was the Emerald Wind on top of the flailing swipe, so it was like all the R buttons were pushed at one time, and unfortunately it completely inter-synergized, but either way they still got 3 kills out of that, and it evened up the experience quite a bit. It's still in the favor of Alaska, but at the same time, this boss is just, they're not letting it get untethered. Okay, so it untethers and they go ahead and, looks like on the side of OSD, they're just kind of posturing around this thing, making sure that they're not going to be picking it up on the side of Alaska. And they're kind of doing the same thing. They're getting the camp diagonally across, and look to probably see both teams probably check boss. Looks like Hedgie will go ahead and do that, and actually, no, they're going to rotate into the top lane, probably push this out. Now, top lane is the lane, obviously, this is where OSD wants to be the most protective. Alaska does have the gate in top, and I believe it was opened up in bottom. No, they still have gate in top and bottom, so on the side of OSD, they've got a lot to work through if they can get an advantage here, but it is in the favor... Excuse me, I apologize. I did not have the talents up. It just looks like they're just pushing up the waves. They're playing safe. They don't want to take an unnecessary fight too early on the side of Alaska, it seems. And it also, excuse me, OSD doesn't want to take they don't want to lose out on a member before a potential beacon phase. And as I just noted, it's just starting out. So one thing that they want to make sure that they're not going to lose out on beforehand. And we just have we're just going to see teams posture around these points. Looks like Malthiel's already going to be going into the bottom lane. Brightwing is down there clearing, making sure. But we will see a Z probably quite soon. Morales will be finishing the grenade talent at level 1. There's the pull. It actually does not connect, but the flip does go out. The Unstoppables use huge horrifying to a few of the members from Rex, but their Silent Shoot going to be taking the majority of the damage. They're going to be falling, and that's all of their damage pretty much dead. We do have Malthiel currently in the backline. The Torrent of Souls is used. The Flailing Swipe is there for the disengage. They don't really have too big of a chase. The Torrent of Souls is utilized all the way through. There is the root from Arthas, but this is still the Zerg wave charging, and it's going to be charging down that top lane. And it looks like Alaska will go ahead and they will try and trigger the boss, but unfortunately it's not quick enough. Looks like they make the split decision to go ahead and go bottom lane. Yes, okay. They look like they were going top, and then they turned around to bottom. Either way, they're going to be going into bottom lane. Looks like they'll be, since this is already open, they'll just be forcing this lane, which will divert the assets of OSD. And so if they do potentially lose out here, that keep will be opened up quite a bit. The pull is there, doesn't connect. A huge taunt under a few of the members. There isn't a Horrified just yet. Expulsion Zone is used. Silent Shoot taking quite a bit of damage. Rexpo in that backline getting so much damage onto Dami and Corgi Booty. Dami and Corgi Booty. They will have the Vala falling there, as well as the Garrosh and the Brightwing. GGs are thrown out, and it looks like Alaska will be taking game number 2 against Order of the Sleeping Dragon. GG, well played. We'll be ending the series 1-1, each team getting a point for the Nexus Gaming Series. All right, and there's the GG.